You know, when a meteorite hits Earth, we see the headlines, right? The fireball, the big boom, the hole it leaves behind. But what if the real story, the truly disruptive part of its arrival, is something that's completely silent? This is where a fascinating and, yeah, kind of strange idea comes from: a recent meteorite fall in Georgia. It suggests the most profound effects of these cosmic visitors aren't about what we see or feel, but are actually happening on a frequency we're not even listening for. All right, so let's get into it. Our story kicks off at a very specific time and place. June 26th, 2025, a meteorite fall in Georgia. That was a super rare event, and it's what sparked this whole wild inquiry. So, picture this. This meteorite comes screaming down and punches right through a home in Henry County. But what made it so special, scientifically speaking, is that it was a witnessed fall. Someone actually saw it land, and that is exceptionally rare. Out of 27 meteorites ever found in Georgia, this was only the sixth one ever seen as it arrived. But its origin? Okay, this is what's truly mind-blowing. This rock is estimated to be 4.56 billion years old. Just think about that for a second. It's roughly 20 million years older than Earth itself. So this wasn't just a rock hitting a house. It was a piece of the beginning of everything, a leftover from the birth of our solar system. So you've got this ancient object, older than our entire world, crashing into a modern home. But this is where the story pivots, away from what we all saw and heard, and towards everything we might have missed completely. The homeowner was actually on a Zoom call, headphones on, and described the sound as this startling, gunshot-like noise. And researchers figure they actually heard a mashup of three things at once: the crash on the roof, a tiny sonic boom as the rock broke the sound barrier, and then the final thud on the floor. So, okay, those are the audio effects, the sounds that land squarely in the range of human hearing. They're dramatic, they're documented, and they're exactly what you'd expect from something hitting your house at over a kilometer per second. But is that the whole story? This is where it gets really interesting. What about the frequencies outside our range of hearing? We're talking about infrasound, which is way too low for us to hear, and ultrasound, which is way too high. These frequencies are everywhere, generated by everything from earthquakes to animals, but to our ears, they're completely silent. So, did this ancient rock produce any? And this right here is the gap in our knowledge. On one side, you have the human experience, a sharp, gunshot-like sound. But on the other, you have what specialized instruments could have detected, things like infrasound waves, ultrasonic vibrations, maybe even electromagnetic pulses. But here's the kicker: none of that data was reported. It really makes you wonder, were we even listening with the right ears? And that very question leads us to a really powerful, and yeah, even a provocative hypothesis. What if we've been thinking about meteorites all wrong? Think about it like this. We are incredibly strict about biological imports. We know that a foreign plant or animal can just wreak havoc on a native ecosystem. So here's the thought. Should we be applying that same logic to cosmic imports? Could their alien vibrations disrupt Earth's very delicate tonal landscape? So here's the core of the idea. First, these objects are truly, literally extraterrestrial. Second, their unique makeup and their journey through the cosmos gives them vibrational signatures that are fundamentally alien to our world. And third, the theory suggests that if these vibrations interfere with Earth's own sensitive acoustic ecology, that complex web of frequencies that nature uses, they could potentially create a whole new kind of imbalance. And that is the real question, isn't it? We don't actually know if meteorites can cause this kind of tonal imbalance. But the more pressing question is, have we ever seriously looked? And this isn't just some philosophical question either. This kind of thinking has direct and potentially crucial applications for how we protect our planet. Right now, planetary defense is almost entirely physical. We track an object's path, we model its impact, we analyze what it's made of. All of this is absolutely vital, of course, but it's focused on the kinetic threat, the physical collision itself. So, the proposal is to add a completely new layer to this defense. We could detect incoming objects using things like infrasound arrays long before they're visible. Then we could classify their composition by analyzing their unique electromagnetic signatures. And finally, we could assess their true impact by monitoring for any weird post-impact resonance in the environment. It's about adding a brand new set of ears to our planetary shield. And that brings us to the big takeaway. An idea that started with one small rock hitting one house in Georgia expands into a whole new way of thinking about our relationship with the cosmos. There's a quote in the source material that just says it perfectly. The McDonough meteorite may have been small, but its implications are massive. And that's really it. It's a perfect reminder that the smallest events can trigger the biggest shifts in perspective, from a simple sonic boom to a potential disruption of our planet's entire tonal balance. So we end with a challenge. By focusing only on what our limited human senses can perceive, what are we missing? What deeper, more subtle interactions between our world and the cosmos are happening all around us, all the time? You know, maybe it's time we finally started to listen.